Hi there, YouTube. This is kind of going to be a rant about Young Living, doTerra, essential oil companies that have that pyramid scheme in order to sell their, what I think are overpriced products. So if you're a Young Living or doTerra or that kind of company's representative or distributor, I think that you should really hear this. So, I never really had a problem with those kinds of companies or those companies in particular until recently, when I was served a notice to stop using a certain word to describe my products and also to name my products. But even if I used the name in the description, like I can't use it to even describe anything unless I'm doing it for an educational purpose. So no commercial purpose whatsoever. And that name is Thieves. Young Living in 2015 trademarked the name Thieves for their formula. Now, if you know anything about the history of it, it's in the name. Medieval thieves, this is how the story goes anyway, but this is a very, very old story. I think one of the more recent historical publications, I know that's kind of an oxymoron, was in 1910, talking about four thieves as a vinegar. And the formula was very similar to what the Thieves formula is now. Clove, lemon, rosemary, eucalyptus, and then sometimes like some cinnamon or something. So, they trademarked this. They patented it as theirs pretty much. I mean, they haven't patented the formula yet or anything, but people, historical herbalists, traditional herbalists, have known about this and have used that in their products to name their products for many, many, many years. And in fact, Gary Young, the founder of Young Living, has stated clearly that, well, he got his inspiration of the Thieves formula from like 40 different stories that he read, all different stories, you know, but the myth is or not the myth, but the story is the same. And I don't really know if it's a true story. No one really does, but it's not a myth that people have been using this for a really long time, this formula, and it has been known by the name of Thieves. So I got this notification on my store. I don't want this to be about my store or my shop or anything, but I sell organically based, like, essential oil products, not essential oils themselves or blends that I make, but actual products that I use essential oils in, like soaps and things like that. So they had Etsy take down my products without any warning, and they didn't even tell me what I had done wrong. The only thing I could tell that was related of all my products that they took down, which was 3, that they all had Thieves, had something to do with Thieves. And it didn't even have to be on the product label, on the actual product. It could have simply just been in my product description underneath my listing that, well, this uses the Thieves blend, or in a tag or something. And a tag is just what people use to type into a search to find your product. Anyway, I don't want this to be me selling my products. That's not at all what this is about. This is to educate the public about what's happening right now that we need to get involved in. Because now that herbs and essential oils have hit the dinner room topic conversation in almost every home in America by now, and people are really learning about how you can use them in good ways, and also many people don't know how they're promoting. Some of these companies are promoting their products to be used in questionable or dangerous ways, you know, by people that got into the essential oil, you know, bought a kit and got a book and was like, okay, now I know everything about essential oils. I can just look it up using this company's information. It's like, no, no, no. You don't understand, because there's been a long history of using essential oils, and also they're much more concentrated now than they were hundreds of years ago, which people have been using and making essential oils for hundreds of years. It's just been more commonplace now that we have the technology and the industry and everything to make large quantities of these things. And I mean, I'm not against essential oils at all, obviously. They're a ton better than like using synthetic fragrances or anything like that, but in my own opinion, I'm a member of the American Herbalist Guild. I've read many herbalist books. I've studied under American Herbalist Guild founders. So I consider myself an herbalist, not a certified or qualified herbalist, which there is no real way to get there unless you go through a really lengthy process with the American Herbalist Guild, which I'm just not. I can't right now. So, but I have worked in health food stores since 2011, right after I got out of college, and I have learned a lot since that time about essential oils. That's the first time it was introduced to me. So, and there were other companies using the name Thieves in their product at that time before it was ever trademarked. Trademark lawyers and officers and facilitators, whoever approves that, needs to have proof that it isn't already in common use. And it obviously is. So these companies want to just monopolize and overtake this natural industry. And their excuse is that, well, we're the ones who made it popular. We're the ones who put all this time and effort and energy into making it a household known product or name. Well, I mean, you can say that, but the fact is that the history of these products, using these formulas and things like that over a long period of time, is actually what makes it seem more legitimate to these people. So, and the name itself, Thieves, comes from the old name, the myth, or real story, however you want to believe, but it just makes it blatantly obvious that they themselves are being thieves and they're trying to attack anyone that wants to produce or not copy them, because they themselves have really copied it. Everyone has copied it. There's nothing wrong with copying it. And I want to say that there's nothing wrong with people creating unique products with unique names that no one else has ever really used in a commercial or selling a product. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, patenting or trademarking that. But the name and the formula itself has been used for hundreds of years, documented in numerous articles and books and things like that, way before Gary Young was even alive. How can you not see that as being totally blatantly obvious that you're attacking everyone that is trying to actually spread the truth about natural living and how to really use things like essential oils and herbs and things like that. Instead, you're just trying to sell all of your products, and you're trying to monopolize it because that's how people know that product, and that's what people associate with that product. And first of all, before I go any farther into essential oils and things like that, I want to say that what I kind of touched on before, these people will do whatever they can to make a profit. For instance, when I first started hearing about Young Living and all of that, I thought, well, these essential oils have been around for a really long time, and you're paying what? And, oh, are they certified organic? No, they're not certified organic, but they're better than organic. That's what the company claims. It's like, then they have pesticides and herbicides and all these fungicides and chemicals and everything in it, but yet they're better than organic. Yeah. I mean, you might say that, well, they go through a more testing, or more filtration, or they're more concentrated. And let me tell you, I have tried every single, oh, I won't say every single, but many, many different brands of essential oils and sources of essential oils. And yeah, some of them are less concentrated, but that also depends on the season and when they harvest and everything like that, and their extraction methods and all of that. You're not going to have a standardized, the therapeutic grade standardized was created by doTerra. So they're standardizing their own product, which, come on. So that kind of thing. I mean, the FDA doesn't want to get involved because they don't like saying that anything natural can do anything for the body at all, because then it would be considered a drug. And if it were a drug, they wouldn't make profit off of it. So yeah, the FDA is not going to get involved. And apparently the legal system doesn't care because no one did their research on this. And if they did, then they're like, well, you know, Young Living is paying a lot of money. Of course they are, because of the pyramid scheme that they're pulling on everyone, the scam of $45 of Thieves oil for like a tiny, tiny little bottle. Like, come on. Anyway, when they're like, oh, let's make this more profitable and let's have people start ingesting these essential oils, that way they'll use it up quicker, which is what I think that they did. I'm passionate about this because now it's skin off my back that they're making me go through all these hoops to make them happy, because I'm using their name, which it is not their name. Legally, they can say it's their name, but they are thieves themselves. Anyway, the ingesting essential oils thing, essential oils are volatile, which just means that they evaporate into air. But it also means that their compounds are extremely concentrated in there. And they're not really digestible. And most essential oils are antibacterial. There have been studies to show this. The FDA doesn't really want to recognize those studies, of course, but there are studies that show this. And it's obvious that they are antibacterial, but you also have to think about if you're into like the natural community and health, and you're aware, antibiotics kill the good and the bad gut bacteria. You need bacteria in your gut in order to break your food down properly and for you to absorb those nutrients in your intestines and everything. So if you're ingesting essential oils for one reason or another, which I don't really know why you would. Yeah, I could just go on and on about this, but they say to just put a few drops in a glass of water and stir it up and drink it. Well, the essential oils don't disperse in there. They find each other like oil and water, and they're not an oil. They don't have a fatty acid content, but they do act like oil and water, and they collect in the water. And then at one point, you're going to take a drink and it'll just be all the essential oil that you put in there, like 1 or 2 drops, but still. And that goes straight into your esophagus and then your stomach, which I think could cause some internal damage because of how strong some of these essential oils are. And, you know, they only recommend certain essential oils to be ingested, and they're like, well, we're the only ones that have this standard of grade quality that are, that could be considered digestible or ingestible or whatever. That's just a load. I mean, they're hurting people like this, I think. And then it's also turning some people off to where like, well, I don't know what to trust. Those companies are a big scam. So I'm just going to go off essential oils completely. And it's turning people off to the few uses essential oils have. Like, I mainly use them to scent the air, to freshen the air, you know, in my deodorants and my soaps instead of synthetic fragrances. In my hand sanitizers. I don't really use them for medicinal purposes. If I wanted to use something for medicinal purpose, I would use the actual plant, like in a tea or in a supplement, not the essential oil, because the essential oil doesn't have all the other stuff in the plant. All it is the aromatic compounds concentrated. That's it. I mean, yes, they do have certain qualities like antiviral, antibacterial. Again, not approved, not statements approved by the FDA. Disclaimer, disclaimer. But, and I'm sorry for my attitude on all this, but I am sick of it. I don't want people to be misinformed anymore because it hurts the herbal community, which has worked for hundreds of years to build up to this, above the whole witchery, witchcrafty, you know, hocus pocus type thing, and to be considered taken seriously in like the scientific community and the health community and things like that. This is just like taking a big dump on it, seriously, and then turning around and making millions off of it. That's how it feels to me now, what they've done. At first I was like, great, people are getting more into essential oils and they're gonna then learn more about herbs and they're gonna be informed and they're going to be more careful while using them, and maybe, just maybe, the educational system will say, hey, we need to start seriously teaching herbalists and certifying them as part of the medical community and actually give them like the ability to do herbs with a traditional medical background, clinical background. But no, they haven't caught up yet with everyone else, like in Europe and Australia and all those people that actually have real education systems for this. I'm not 100% sure on which countries exactly do what, but I know for certain China integrates them very, very well, and their health is very good because of it in general. So anyway, they're spreading misinformation, and this is just my opinion. I mean, if they want to say, well, you're attacking my company or giving my company a bad name, well, just look at the science. Just use your common sense. No, you don't want to be ingesting these oils, no matter how pure or certified by themselves they are. Oh my goodness. So that is pretty much all I have to say about it. Oh, no. What you can do about this is you can go to American Herbalist Guild. You can donate to them because they're all about spreading the traditional medicinal uses and of herbs and things like that. And they take into consideration their contraindications, which is you don't use these if you have such and such and such. They're, I'd say, the best source of information in the United States about herbs. So you can do that. And if you want to try to be more active politically about this issue, if it is close to your heart like it is mine, you can go to someone who is actually trying to fight a company, a national company right now, about them taking their name of a product and almost the exact same kind of product, the uses and everything, trademarking it, and then, you know, suing everyone else that has been using the name for years and years and years before this person who started the company was even born. So you can go to freefirecider.com, which you can donate to their cause, because that is going to set the trend for national companies. And if you want to do anything about this thieves thing with Young Living, I have no means, you know, to fight them. If they were to come and sue me, I'd be like, okay, what money? I mean, so I can't do anything about it. I can't really stand up to them. I don't have the means, and I have a baby, and, you know, it's just not worth it for me. I just change the names of my products, and that's all I can do. But I can donate and contribute to other people fighting this fight. And if you want to, like, start a petition for this, to get names signed, to get legislation changed on this, or you know, to have some kind of law placed, or to get a list. The lady at freefirecider.com, Rosemary Gladstar, she's one of the founders of the American Herbalist Guild, and she is trying to work with other herbalists on creating a list of commonly used names that should be listed as common knowledge or the commons. Just like photographs, people can list them as the commons, and anyone can use them, not for any reason, but they can use them as long as they're doing it truthfully and respectfully and all of that. So there's that. And I highly encourage you to not support these companies that basically just want to make a buck off of the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears of herbalists and people that really started the, you know, herbal revolution, which started back in the 1960s, of course, in America. And they're just taking these formulas and then turning them around and trying to make $1 million off of them. And everyone else is suffering, and they're all about, well, we want people to be happy and healthy and know what herbs to use for this, and we want people to be empowered and knowledgeable and da 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 da. Well, you're doing the exact opposite by trademarking something that everyone knows that thing to be. Next thing they're going to try to trademark, I think, is going to be like Essiac tea, which is just Casey, or case spelled backwards, which is from a nurse back in the early 20th century who actually got this formula of herbs to help her cancer patients, help them try to fight it. And that formula was actually inspired by Native Americans. So it's kind of like, you know, who's going to trademark that next? And who's going to trademark elderberry syrup? And who's going to trademark blah, 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 blah? And then how are we going to even describe our products anymore? Like for instance, someone talked to a Young Living paralegal and they wrote back, well, we don't want you using robbers, because they had asked about, well, can I use robbers? Can I use bandits? What can I use? Well, we don't want you using robbers or any other like synonymous term because that causes confusion. Well, they don't have the right to say that. They trademarked one name and that's all they're going to get, unless they want to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars to trademark other stuff. So we're still going to keep spreading the truth, and we're still going to try to keep informing people that these companies that have gotten everyone into that thing, half the time it's good, you know, like for analgesic purposes. Like, for instance, I use like clove or wintergreen for my aches and pains on my body, like symptomatic kind of stuff. And some people have said, well, it's helped me with my diabetes, or it's helped me with this, or it's helped me with that, like real bad diseases. And I can understand that, but they're just taking all this. It's not like they're the first people to think of all this stuff. They're taking all of it. Just like me, I'm not saying that I completely made up all of this stuff. You know, I just know about herbs from this higher, you know, place, like, or I can feel an herb and tell it's good for this or that, or I can smell it, whatever. I know this because people have used it before and it has worked, so therefore we can use it for that, and you can have different combinations and people can do their own unique little formulas, but don't try to trademark it, okay? Like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to pull? It's obviously greed. It's obviously, and then you call yourself like a Christian-based company. Well, Christians, greed is a sin. So it's all image that they want to uphold, that they're ethical and nice and moral and all good things and in the world. And yeah, okay, sure. Anyway, it's about 30 minutes, this video is, and I think I've beat this to death. So, like I said, freefirecider.com. And if you want to start a political activism thing, then by all means go and do that. I'm sure that many, many herbalists and shop holders on Etsy and people like that are upset about this as well. So if you're interested in like creating a petition or anything, just contact me through YouTube, or my email is mariahjadec, mariahjadec@gmail.com. And if you're interested in like checking out any of my products, you can email me then. But like I said, this video is not about that. But if you are interested, I'm not gonna, you know, be like, no, you can't. So there's my contact information if you want to talk about this more, or also leave your contact information down in the comments section of this video. This is like only my second video on YouTube, so this is not like professional quality, but I just wanted to reach out to everyone struggling with this and being so frustrated as a person that is into natural alternative medicine and things like that. So I love everyone. I love you all. You just need to please get your crap together and stop with this fakery. So God bless you. Please may He help you. Help me too. I mean, I know I'm not perfect. So, I will see you next time. Bye.